the suppression of the use of marijuana and of the forces lurking behind it are the most important jobs this department is now engaged in. In 1930, the records on marijuana in the Washington office of the Narcotics Division scarcely filled a small folder like this. Today, they fill cabinets.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Coloradians and everyone that's smart enough to listen from the outside.
One of the most amazing plants we've ever discovered.
The pot party, the trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Stoned Appetit with your hosts. As always, it's me, Kip, and to my right, I got CB. CB, how you doing, brother?
Oh, I'm doing spectacular today. I mean, into March Madness, and we're coming off a big week.
Yeah, it was a killer week, not only for our March Madness, but also for the real athletic people out there in the world as well. Congratulations to our sister state to the right that hates cannabis, Kansas. But at the same time, we had a kick-ass month. You know, the weather's kind of coming about, and we got to crown our champion. Fuck yes. And we made Axios. So for those that are listening, we redid the intro so that y'all had a perfect episode. At the tail end of this episode, we will speak with the Stoned Appetit Golden Goat Tournament champion, Caroline Glover from Annette Scratch to Table. Give me a round of applause, everybody.
Oh, she's fantastic.
Right? It was a hell of a final matchup. So we're going to talk a little bit about all of that jazz, as well as Best of Westward, which dropped this week as well. Notables that we loved, and tip of the cap for Molly for all the hard work that she has to do. But there are some that we thought were either glaring omissions as well, or some that maybe missed on the final answers. But that's how it goes. Same people said the same stuff to us. So
yeah, different strokes for different folks.
Good luck, Molly. I'm sure your DMs are going to be flooded with bullshit. So I'm sorry to hear that, but I'm cheering for you nonetheless.
Oh, also, when you mentioned the GOAT Award of Annette, I just saw today that they're going to start doing Sunday night dinners starting May.
It's probably because we told so many people about it, and with the 150,000 plus votes that we have, most of which went to Annette. I mean, yeah, it's the Stoned Appetit bump that we tell everybody that they get from the podcast, but in actuality, it's just cocaine. That's the only bump. All right, but before we get started to today's episode, we need to give a quick shout out. Obviously, 420 is this month, so it's kind of got a little bit of a crazy outlook. Everyone's looking at what's going on, but the best part is that our sponsors, Seed and Smith, have a killer fucking deal going on. And so let me break this down for y'all real quick. For those that are listening, this week, Ripple is on sale for Thursday. Friday, you have Kana BOGOs, so you get 2 packs for a penny or something like that. All weekend this weekend, you're getting pre-roll specials. Next week, leading up to the 420 event, they're doing shatter, sugar wax dabs, things like that for the specials on the weekend. But every single day, leading up into 420, aka the holidays, there is a different badass deal going on at both locations of Seed and Smith. So as you listen to this, today is Wednesday. It's Koala, 2 for $25 right out the door. So you can get whatever, no matter what your vibe is, there's something for you, whether it be Chiba Chews or Wild Edibles, the fan favorites, things like that. They've got that. But if you're looking for, wax, shatter, great flour, they've always got those things for you. And this month, they're heavily discounted. It's fucking epic. So shout out to those guys. If you want to see the whole calendar, go to www.seedandsmith.com. And of course, they have 2 dispensary locations. Out there on Oakland Street, kind of in the Commerce City area, near the Flavor Corner. So if you're trying to double dip, you got that going for you. And then their flagship location at 1413 Heckler Way in Louisville, just across the street from one of our favorite bakeries, Precision Pours. So check them out. Seed and Smith is fucking lighting it up. And our second sponsor, and this, we love our friends over at Cali's Cannabis, but Chris, it seems that we're not alone. Cali's Cannabis Rhino location was just awarded Best New Dispensary in Denver. So all of that we've been saying for months, telling everybody how they have killer deals, fantastic rewards programs, deals every single day of the week, but for different vibes. It's the the chickens have come home to roost. Everybody in the city sees it. It is a fantastic company, family owned and operated. Charles is in charge of the grow, so you know they got fire flour, but at the same time they have unbelievable customer service and a wide variety and selection. So if you want to check them out on social media, we tag them all the time. It's at Shop Callie's, or you can go to calliescannabis.com. They also have deals going throughout the month with featured brands every day of the week. It's a banger of a deal. So if you're looking for weed right now, this month is the month to get it all. All right, Chris, let's get back to the good news.
Hell of an ad read. Hell of an ad read.
Yeah, 420, there's tons of events, and next week we'll talk about all the parties that are going on. So, we've teased that we'll be at the Mile High Fest, 420 Fest downtown. It's an absolute clusterfuck of an event, but we have VIP passes, and we're going to give 2 VIP passes to somebody else. So if they want to come hang out with us and Big Boy, Little John, we've got those tickets for them. We'll stay tuned for how we give those away, because our last giveaway got pulled down about 24 hours in.
It happens.
Yeah. All right, Chris, back to the status quo, or the previous conversation, whatever. I asked you for your Final Four a couple weeks ago, and most of yours made a hell of a run. Hop Alley being a pretty big run for that. It was 1 seeds versus 1 seeds. Annette versus Hop Alley in the finals. And Tommy and the team over there, they came out guns blazing. They had a couple 100-vote lead, but Caroline, I almost want to change her name to Stacey Abrams, because how she rocked that vote. She is the queen of Denver. Bravo, Caroline.
And just like Stacey Abrams, she's going to participate in it again next year.
That's the best part about it. Caroline's a hoot and a holler, and we have her at the end of this little segment that Chris and I are doing to kind of talk to her about how those final hours went. It's kind of, it was hilarious. It was a little bit chaotic in regards to connection. I don't think we were all able to kind of see and speak and talk at the same time, or, with one another. But we're going to go out there and see them this week as well. Drop off the loot from our friends over at Callie's Cannabis who hooked it up. We talk about how they're great in the industry and they always look out for the community. This is just another way they give back by showing some love to some of our favorite restaurants. So shout out to them for that also. But holy shit, Chris.
Yeah, the gist of it is she's a super competitive person, and she was stressed out during the whole March Madness. But she pulled it through.
So it seems like this got caught a little more wind than we originally thought it would.
Yeah.
We had people in our DMs just shitting on me like, you have terrible taste. You missed the best steakhouse. I'll keep that little diamond in my pocket. And I'm not telling you guys. Y'all seem to know everything.
Right.
Shout out to those pricks.
But it's kind of like, when do we ever talk about steakhouses? That's just not something we go to a lot. So we were including things that we liked.
Yeah, and I thought we did a fairly solid job of representing the metro area in its whole. Honestly, you can't include Boulder because it's just its own city. There's too many that you could do a bracket just for Boulder if you wanted to. So, we tried to make sure that we could bring awareness to local restaurants, maybe some that you haven't been to. I know that, Natalia, our friend from Colorado Bites, mentioned she had just gone to La Caella for the first time because she saw that they were the 1 seed in the Mexican region, and she was like, fuck yeah, these tacos slap. So shout out to Natalia. We appreciate you supporting local business. But, that's just one microcosm or one example of it. So hopefully we see more people trying out the barbecue in town, giving us their input for maybe sleeper Mediterranean spots,
Right.
And one of those people that's kind of give us that input is our friend Molly, who just took care of Westward's Best of Denver. I don't know how the fuck they say it.
There you go.
Yeah. So we'll talk a little bit about it. Obviously, I think what's crazy about it is there's 130 fucking categories, Chris. So that's what my problem is. Not that we misidentified wrong or right answers, but why is are we giving awards to fucking everybody? It's because this is like Rachel Maddow of award shows.
Participation trophies.
Yeah, best bar to watch Liverpool soccer. Get the fuck out of
That's a really
it's
specific.
It's a niche market.
Yeah,
I wonder how many people were competing for that award.
And we aren't dogging on Westward at all, but
No.
one of the funniest
food
I
ones
saw was best use of small silverware.
I saw that.
What
Shout
is
out
that?
to Cart Driver.
Yeah, but what does that mean?
I mean, I guess they don't do drugs off spoons or like melt them down, but they're talking about finger banging tinned fish. But at the same time, it was an interesting way that they look at it. Like, I love all of the restaurants listed, for a multitude of different reasons. But I saw some of those categories. I was like, get the fuck out of here. Is this a real category? Like, that's my favorite part about it.
Best place to get ducked.
Yeah. Just tell everybody that One Fold has the best breakfast.
Right, and that's what that. So one of the things I'm against, or I don't agree with, is best brunch being Lucille's. Noted, I'm not the biggest brunch guy. I probably haven't been out to brunch in almost a year, but Lucille's just doesn't bring it home for me. I mean they have good biscuits, but other than that, I don't know. I think there's got to be better brunches in this city.
Yeah, and I'm sure, we're not going to throw shade at these restaurants, but as someone that eats a lot of Creole food, no thank you. I'm out on that. I think Exile and Sassafras do it better than they do. But at the same time, she knocked it out of the park on a ton of them.
Yes.
So shout out to our friends over at Right Cream, David and Josh. They fucking kill it. That's the best ice cream in Denver. The best pop-up is 1,000% Little Arthur's Hoagies with the northeastern throwback to the large sandwiches that you really can't get unless you go to Carmine Leonardo's, which was named Best Sandwich, which I did, I guess this is a teaser. I did the 420 article for her to find munchies around town, and like 7 of them were on the list. I was like, God damn it.
And also shout out to Funky Flame, our friends over there. They
Allison
got
and
Best
Colton.
Wood-Fired Bakery, which they're doing awesome stuff at the Rotary.
Yeah, and our friend Merlin, so everybody knows Chef Merlin and his fine dining capabilities, but his restaurant Street Feud, which, is relatively new, got best French fries, and I couldn't agree fucking more. It was, so they did their due diligence. They worked their ass off.
And us, along with every other Denver individual, knows that Yuan Wonton is the best food truck out there.
Yeah.
I mean, Fo King Rapidos is good.
Shout out to Long. Love you guys.
Yeah, but Yuan, they deserve best food cart for sure.
Yeah, food truck. And this is my question, and we may not know enough about the vibe or the scene. And are we not allowed to have repeat winners? Like, did Yun Wonton win best food truck but can't win dumpling, like, because Soul Mandu won, things like that? Or can Uncle not win 2 years in a row for best ramen? Do they try to spread it out? I don't know the rules, and so I can't keep up with who won years past. But 2 big things: Cali's Cannabis Best Dispensary, and our friend Stephen Wolf. He was a guest on the podcast. He also throws the Groovy Gravy events here in Colorado. He is probably the biggest mover and shaker in the cannabis scene. We strive to be like him one day in our events. We look up to how they do it. They run it they're pros. And so that's another deserved one. And there's a litany of cannabis ones. I saw Green Dot got a lot of love, and that's justifiable because they're making some great product, as well as Bloom County, who is a sponsor for our podcast, so we had our sponsor for our dinner, so we know that they have fantastic flower. But it's cool to see the city and the community is in agreement that, when we think we love, David Wright's Right Cream, it's not a bias. It's genuinely the best.
It's good nice fucking ice cream.
Yeah, and it's nice to see that it's like our thoughts were in fact validated.
Yeah, and shout out to our friends over at Noble Riot for getting Best Wine Bar.
Congrats to Troy as well. I know that, there's that stiff competition. Jen over at Vin Rouge is a great one. I love the new one, La Bouche, uptown as well. But, Noble Riot, it's got the wide variety of, wines, as well as it's not your average wine bar. So to see when someone zigs when everyone else is zagging, to see that get pay off as well it's a nice rewarding thing.
And one thing that I saw that interested me was the Family Jones Distillery. They got best distillery. But I say this because last week I was in Marzick's.
Yep.
And I was in their liquor store, and Family Jones, they're now doing these cocktails, but they're really nice. You can get a gin martini, Cosmo, a smoke and rye, this bourbon drink. And it's probably a serving for 2 people, but they are legit craft cocktails. It's insanely good. They're about $15 a piece, you would spend at a craft cocktail bar. But if you're just wanting to pick up something for a martini for a night at home, They're fucking fantastic.
You know, and it's sometimes things like that. You're like, how would that ever make money? But then you're like, oh my God, it's 75